Hey guys, today we're going to learn chapter 20 in H.A.Robert's philosophy, the temperament. So, what is temperament in homeopathy? Robert says there are four classical temperaments: nervous, bilious, sanguine, and phlegmatic. But what does that mean? These temperaments are patterns of being, like the clay mold into which a person is cast from the very beginning of life. So, in simple terms, you can just consider like a character in a person, but it's not a character. Character is different, temperament is different, diathesis is different, constitution is different. So let's see what does temperament actually mean. So these temperament influence your physical reactions like circulation, elimination, liver function, your mental and emotional tendencies like fear, sadness, irritability, and sluggishness, and even how you might develop disease. Yes, friends, even how you might develop disease is also seen through temperament. So, is it character? No. So, it is having an influence on physical reaction, our mental and emotional tendency, and even our disease tendencies. So imagine you are born into a musical scale that your temperament, all the songs are symptoms, and you sing later in life will be influenced by that scale. So our temperament depends what our character will be, what our physical reaction will be, what our mental reaction, what our emotional tendencies, and even our disease tendencies. So that's what temperament is. So is temperament changeable? So some ask whether constitution is changeable, whether temperament is changeable, can we change them? So let's see what H.A.Robert has got to tell to us. Robert gives a subtle and powerful answer. The initial tendency cannot be changed, but the remedy can so modify the physiological tendencies as to prevent their unfavorable ultimates. So this means that the initial tendency cannot be changed. The initial thing we cannot change that, but by giving the remedy we can modify the physiological tendencies to prevent their unfavorable ultimates. If the person is having a temperament which leads to certain disease, we can just turn that turn that disease tendency. So what does it mean? The root nature, the temperament is not erased by a remedy. So the real root, we cannot change the root of that person's temperament, but we can just give some changes, some subtle changes. But if the right remedy is given early, it can redirect the outcome, like preventing a storm from breaking out. So just imagine, I will give you an example. Imagine a river with a curve that tends to flood a village. We cannot change the curve, but we can build barriers and channels that guide the water safely. And that's what homeopathy does to temperament. So like a river with a curve, we cannot change the curve, isn't it? We cannot do so. Even though if we do it, it will not give its natural flow. So instead of that, we will build barriers and channels. Likewise, when we give remedies, it will guide our body safely. The four temperaments. So now let's study the four temperaments. I hope that you have watched a movie called Inside Out. In that you can imagine all those four temperaments according to the characters of that movie. So each temperament is like a lens through which a person experiences life, physically, mentally, emotionally, and they are not rigid boxes but tendencies that influence disease expression and remedy reaction, how they react to a remedy, how the disease is influenced, and their physical, mental, emotional. All these 5 points you should remember when you write about temperaments, and those four temperaments also. So first let's learn nervous temperament. The fast and fragile one. Even though they are fast and so nervous and scared, they're very fragile, they will easily get scared. So let's remember all these points. Like first you should remember keywords, then mental traits, then emotional traits, then physical traits, then disease and reaction to remedies. And definitely you should have some common example of remedies. So all these things you should write. So what are the keywords to remember about nervous temperament? High strung, quick to react, oversensitive, easily exhausted. Mental traits include irritable, anxious, restless, mentally alert. Emotional traits include cries easily, panic prone, introverted. So all nervous temperament, because they're scared, they are inside the shell, so they're introverted. Physical traits: thin, delicate, easily tired, and poor stamina. So when you see that Inside Out character, you can see, isn't it, they have just beautifully shown all those things in that movie. So disease, nervous disorders, yes, obviously they are so scared, so they will get nervous disorders. Sleeplessness, due to scared they will not be able to sleep. Neurosis, spasms, reaction to remedies, their quick response, sometimes oversensitive to doses. So these are the person who is having like hypersensitivity, all those conditions. So common remedies. Remember, before saying common remedies, I will tell you one thing. One remedy can have more than one temperament. So here common remedies are Nux vomica, ignatia, chamomilla, coffea, singam. So if you know any other remedies, please comment below. Then bilious temperament, the intense irritable worker. What are the keywords? Practical, fiery, determined, and digestive issues. So when you read all these keywords, there is one remedy that comes in your mind. What is it? Yes, it's Nux vomica. So like I said, one remedy, that is Nux vomica, comes under nervous temperament and under bilious temperament also. So mental traits: ambitious, bossy, exacting, short-tempered. Emotional traits: easily angered, self-willed. Physical traits: strong, dark complexion, muscular, and tense. Doesn't mean that person will be always a dark complexion. It can differ. Then diseases: liver disorders, of course, acidity, constipation, migraines, because they're stressed, isn't it? They're hard workers. Then reaction to remedies: good response to deep acting remedies. So what are the common remedies? Nux vomica, bryonia, chelidonium, lycopodium, and sulfur. Then third one is sanguine temperament, the cheerful butterfly, the social butterfly, that person who is lively and communicate, the person who is very extrovert. Keywords are warm, friendly, energetic, impulsive. Mental traits: talkative, expressive, joyful, easily distracted. Emotional traits: they are romantic and cheerful with generous. Physical traits: well built, good circulation, and pink complexion. Diseases: bleeding tendencies, palpitations, respiratory complaints, because they will run here and there. Because of that, they will have lots of palpitations, and because of that, they can't breathe. So remember like that keywords. Then reaction to remedies: often respond well but not deeply. Common remedies are phosphorus, the social butterfly, they love to talk, isn't it? Lachesis, loquacity, they also love to talk. Belladonna, pulsatilla. Again, phlegmatic temperament, the cool and sluggish dreamer, like I don't care whatever happens, I will just sit here, do nothing, first I do nothing, that kind of mentality. Keywords: passive, laid back, reserved, and lethargic. Mental traits: calm, slow to react, indifferent, slow memory, because they don't do anything, so they don't have memory. They will have a very slow memory. Then emotional traits: emotionally flat, rarely excited or angry. They don't care to even get angry or get excited. They are like sloths. Physical traits: overweight, slow circulation, pale skin. Because they don't go outside, they will have no circulation, so pale skin, anemic look. Then because they don't walk or exercise, they are overweight. Disease: catarrh, glandular swellings, sluggish metabolism. Reaction to remedies: slow onset, needs repetition or deep acting remedy. Because they are slow, their remedy to react is also slow. Common remedies are pulsatilla. So pulsatilla comes under sanguine and phlegmatic. Then calcarea carb, obviously, baryta carb, silesia. So all these four is completed. Now let's see how does temperament affect disease and remedy choice. So okay, I didn't know that temperament will affect disease and remedy choice. So how does it happen? Each temperament has its biases in terms of how fast or slow it reacts. So remedy reaction, the reaction of the remedy, it happens on fast or slow. Which organs are likely to be affected, whether it is heart, whether it is lungs. Then emotional expression, the type of disease, attraction, attracted to disease also is important. Then let's explore with examples. Now temperament, first one is phlegmatic. Key features: sluggish, pale, slow circulation, timid. The likely remedies are pulsatilla and calcarea carb. Calcarea carb is the best example you can think of. Then sanguine, warm-blooded, enthusiastic, and excitable. Phosphorus and lachesis, the nervous, high-strung, sensitive, quick response. Nux vomica and ignatia. You can even think of ignatia. Then bilious, even aconite is also a nervous remedy, isn't it? Then bilious, irritable, digestive or liver issues. Nux vomica and bryonia both complements very well with bilious. Then, but Robert warns us something. Don't fall into the trap of prescribing only on appearance or superficial types, he says. Many mistakes have been made in prescribing on this so-called type method. That means don't say, oh, she's fair, blue-eyed and shy, she must be pulsatilla. Instead, what you have to do, does her actual symptom picture match what pulsatilla stands for? Otherwise, you are treating the label and not the living individual. So sometimes outward appearance can show pulsatilla, but actually she will be some other thing. She will be Nux vomica or even bryonia. So we cannot judge something by its outer cover, isn't it? Likewise, we shouldn't prescribe a medicine by outward look or actions. We should understand the true picture of the person. Then, can we predict remedies from temperament? Robert says no, and here's why. We have not attempted the stupendous task to say that certain temperaments would develop certain symptoms. This is a direct warning to those who think blondes are always pulsatilla, dark-haired people are always nux, short plus fat means calcarea. So this is actually wrong. We shouldn't do like that. Then this is lazy prescribing, Robert says. You know why? Because symptoms arise not just from type but from the individual state of equilibrium, their reaction to life, and the moment of susceptibility they are in now. So the magnetism of temperament. A beautiful point from Robert is this. The morbific influence that are attracted to temperamental tendencies are amenable to treatment. Okay, all these words I can't understand. What does it mean? It means temperament is like a magnet. It pulls certain disease tendencies towards itself. A bilious temperament may attract liver troubles, like Nux vomica, I have said no, liver troubles. Then a nervous temperament may invite insomnia or hysteria. A phlegmatic person may lean toward catarrh or sluggish glands, or even PCOS. All those comes under phlegmatic because they don't move, or right? But there's the highlight. These magnetic attractions can be neutralized with the right homeopathic remedy. So when we give a right homeopathic remedy, those magnetizing power will get reduced. What do province teaches about temperament? So Robert gives us some example. Remedy, belladonna. Temperament, it reacted most in florid, phlegmatic types. Phosphorus in nervous and bilious. Barata carb in stunted dwarf types. Nux vomica in nervous tense types. So barata carb comes under nervous. Nux vomica is more than nervous, it comes under phlegmatic. Again, Nux vomica comes under nervous and tense types. So all these things comes. But he clarifies these reactions are helpful in understanding remedy tendency and not in prescription. So it's only help to understand the remedy and its tendency. And it doesn't help us to prescribe medicine. So phosphorus acts on all types. What is true of phosphorus is true of every remedy. So in other words, just because phosphorus was proven well in a thin person, in a narrow chest person, doesn't mean only such people need phosphorus. Even a chubby child or a broad chest man may need if the symptom match. So no outward appearance, just understand the case. Color, stature and gender is not equal to remedy. Let's clear some common myths that Robert destroys. Blonde is equal to pulsatile is a myth. The truth is only if the mental state and modalities match. Nux is always equal to male. Wrong, it's a myth. Women exist and they are real. Sepia only for women. It's a myth. Sepia is often indicated in men too. Can you believe? So, sepia is not only a woman's remedy. It can happen for both. Then myth. Another is remedies only suit those who match prototype. The truth is it's false. Symptoms decide the remedy, not the outward appearance. So he even gives a real life example. A woman with hay fever had symptoms pointing to both Nux vomica and pulsatilla. She was red-haired, tall, vigorous, and not a typical pulsatilla. So the prescriber asked about emotions. She only wept when she became angry. Oh, this tipped the scale in favor of Nux vomica, and it worked beautifully. So moral of the story is that the symptoms speak, not the stereotype. Lesson what we have learned. If you had prescribed based on blonde plus shy plus female is equals to pulsatilla, you would have failed. The true symptom lies in the deviation from normal, not in the appearance from birth. So the keynotes here, they are just clues and not laws. Prescribing on types or temperament is at a best at a slack method. Keynotes like blonde, blue eyes is equals to pulsatilla are like footprints. They might lead you somewhere, but if you blindly follow them, you could fall into a ditch. The true target is the totality of symptoms. Mind, body, spirit, peculiarities, modalities, what makes better or worse. Only then you can find the symptom, the soul matching remedy. Yes, you should find a soulmate, soul remedy. The only real evidence of disease condition is the deviation from normal. So what does this mean? This is the heart of homeopathic method. Disease is not a name. It is a way a person becomes unlike themselves. And what is cure? To meet this deviation through the law of similars with the single indicated potentized remedy and leave the personality and temperament intact. Okay, leave everything. Just remember this. We don't aim to change the person. We aim to heal the disturbance. So they can live out their natural temperament in balance and not in bondage. That's all about this chapter. What H.A.Robert says. I know it's complicated. He is saying that this and all this, but when temperament is asked, don't forget you have to mention for temperament, what is temperament, some examples, even pictures you can draw. So that's all about this chapter. Thank you for listening. Hope you have a great day.